What's up, everyone? Back with another comic book haul video. Today, I'm going to show off my second haul from Ollies. I'm one of those people that whenever a sale is really good, I will keep going back to it and pick it apart and buy things that I didn't buy the first time that I regretted and then went back. I generally try now to spread it out a little bit more, so I was like, okay, the next time I get paid, I'll go back and I'll see what is remaining, and if any of those things that keep rolling around in my head are still there, I'll pick some of those up. So I've got quite the haul. I actually ended up spending about like $70 extra. My first haul was like $50, so there's a much larger stack here. But let me go through it. Some of the stuff is really exciting. Some of the stuff I bought just because out of convenience, and I'll kind of explain that. First thing off the top was Tales of the Batman. This is all Tim Sale Batman stories. One of the things I didn't realize is I actually have most of these single issues. It collects a really cool story from Shadow of the Bat with Catman, and then there's also a story from Legends of the Dark Knight called Blades. And those are like the main stories here, and I actually have both those stories in single issue. So I'm kind of regretting buying this because I already own most of it. But it is a nice piece. It's nice to have all these Tim Sale stories in one spot. I'll probably end up ditching those issues if I'm being quite honest. Next one up is Batman, Gordon of Gotham. This is something that I saw the first time and I passed on, and I just really regret it because, like I said in the other video, I have a lot of Batman comics. I think anyone who collects comics, especially if you're a big DC fan, you end up with so many Batman comics because there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones and there's a lot of significant ones. So that was kind of my reason I didn't buy this the first time. I was like, well, it's another Batman story, but it's really not. It's a collection of 3 separate miniseries that focus on Jim Gordon. And I'm really enjoying the Gotham show. It's been one of my favorite superhero shows on right now, although if I'm being honest, all of them are pretty good. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I flipped through it and I just really liked it. It was very kind of old school crime. I didn't catch the artist. It kind of looks like Walter Simonson. Klaus Janson, that's probably what I'm seeing, and Bill Sienkiewicz. So yeah, really cool collection. This is like probably one of my favorite things I bought the second time around because that was really cool. Next one was Martian Manhunter. This is the John Ostrander, Tom Mandrake run. Those of you who aren't familiar, these two worked on a Spectre series that's highly regarded. I had heard a lot of good things about this, but I don't personally like Martian Manhunter that much. So I passed on it the first time, and then the second time I kind of paged through, and I was like, you know what? I really like this team. I really like that Spectre series. I'm interested to see if their teamwork translates into a sci-fi story just as well as it did with the more paranormal, supernatural. So I decided to pick it up. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. It is the first and same with the Jim Gordon one. Like, these are hefty books, and the Tim Sale one, not small ones. This I was really excited to find. I didn't see this the first time, and I found it at the bottom of the stack the second time. This is something I almost bought at cover price, but the Amazon reviews were really bad. So this is actually a collection of stories from the Superman family book, which was a kind of a compilation book that had like Supergirl and these two and Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, all that stuff. So I'm not sure which version this is, but this is Nightwing and Flamebird. Now some of you might be saying, that's not Nightwing. It's complicated, but basically Nightwing was an old Kryptonian superhero in the post-crisis origin. Dick Grayson, actually I think it might have been pre-crisis too. Basically he decided to take the name from this Kryptonian superheroes. Now there's a couple different versions. There's the classic versions that were just their own characters in Kandor, or maybe not Kandor, just their own classic versions in Krypton, and then there's a version where Jimmy Olsen and Superman go into Kandor and become Nightwing and Flamebird. There's another version where Superman and Lois Lane go in, and then later on in the more modern era we have there's Supergirl and Power Girl go into Kandor for a little bit as Nightwing and Flamebird, and then Chris Kent and a girl whose name I can't remember also took up the Kryptonian Nightwing and Flamebird. So yeah, this is something I really wanted, but because the reviews were so bad and they said it wasn't very good, I just kind of didn't feel like picking it up. Because I just think these designs are cool. I think this is a really cool looking, it's kind of like what if Batman and Robin were on Krypton. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. So I'm excited to read it. These old books take forever to read, and I'm sure I'm going to get really tired of it, because I was flipping through and I was like, it does kind of just look like old school Batman and Robin stories. But we'll see. I'm really excited to check it out. I'm hoping that the reviews misled me, and I'll be relieved that I got it at such a good price. These two, so I got volumes 2 and 3 of Secret Six. The first volume of this, these are like the larger issues. The first volume collected Villains United, the Infinity Crisis Prelude series, and the first 6-issue miniseries of Secret Six, which I have both of those already. Now, I had some of these Secret Six trade paperbacks already, but these were only $4. And I passed on the first time because I was like, man, I have 2 trades of these issues already. I'm just going to track down the rest of them. But then I did the math and I was like, well, it only costs $4. It's probably going to cost me $4 to get the missing trades. So why don't I just get these larger omnibus style books and do it that way? So it kind of sucks because one of the trades that I already had was a library book, which are really, really hard to flip. I buy them for like $1, but they're like impossible to resell. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that. But these are really nice. This is an awesome series. It is by Gail Simone, so it has a lot of her reoccurring tropes that she does. But I really like the main character. Well, there's a couple main characters, but in my opinion, it's always Catman and Deadshot. I'm a huge Deadshot fan, and this series really, really made me like Catman. So I'm excited to sit down and finally read it because I've just been reading like bits and pieces of it. So it'd be nice to get all of it. So that's. This was kind of a weird purchase. I'm not a Legion of Superheroes is one of those things where if you're not a Legion of Superhero fan, I feel like you don't really get them or like them. It took me. I've been collecting comics for over 20 years. Last year, for the first time ever, I read a Legion of Superhero story that I really enjoyed, and that was the Legion of Three Worlds. It was a Final Crisis miniseries. Oh my god. It cleared up everything. I finally understood the characters, the environment, all of it. And then right after that, it went into a main series that this is like the second volume of. And I also read like the Great Darkness Saga, and I got really, really into Legion. And then they showed up on Supergirl this season, and I enjoyed that little episode where it was like Mon-El, Saturn Girl, and Brainiac. So this is the Legion of Supervillains storyline. It has so one of the things I think is a major turnoff for people when they're looking, at least I know for me personally, the biggest turnoff for Legion of Superheroes was that there are just so many characters. Like, I like diving into lots of characters, but there were a lot of characters and there were a lot of alien characters. You know, generally when I'm reading superheroes, I gravitate more towards the characters that I can find myself in. And when you have like a giant worm character and a big blockhead character, like I always had a little bit of trouble. Eventually I was able to get into it. I actually really like Cosmic Boy. He's my favorite of the Legion of Superheroes, and this is the era that like got me into it. So I'm excited to have this because I don't have a lot of that series. I'm excited to read it. And then, spoiler, this entire stack is a Green Lantern. But so I didn't do they had a ton of Green Lantern books. If there's an Ollies near you and you're a Green Lantern fan, go check it out because they have a ton of Green Lantern books. I didn't do Green Lantern stuff the first time because I was already buying a lot and it just seemed like too daunting a task. There was a lot of New 52 stuff. And then the second time I was like, you know what, screw it. I had just read the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, Zod's Wills, Part 1 and 2. It really reignited my love of Green Lantern, so I decided that I'm just going to buy what they have and I'll fill in the rest later. The first thing I got was Green Lantern Corps. This is really cool. This is the original Green Lantern Corps from the early... kind of like mid-80s. It actually is Green Lantern number 201 through 206. So this is like Kilowog and Hal Jordan and Katma and Arissa. Oh, Chip, that's his name. One of the things that's interesting about this is I'm pretty sure it takes place right after the Guardians of the Galaxy decide to leave our plane of existence and like destroy the Green Lantern Corps and just put a small outpost on Earth. Very, very weird concept when you think about, like, there's a whole universe the Green Lanterns were protecting. It's also weird because they keep destroying the Green Lantern Corps. I didn't realize, you know, when I was a kid, the first instance of the Green Lantern Corps getting destroyed that I really read was Parallax. So to see that it has been happening again and again for so long really drives home that I think writers in general have kind of struggle with the Green Lantern Corps. They're such a powerful thing. You don't know what to do them, so the easiest thing is to destroy them. So, yeah, I am excited to read this, so that's going to be fun. Nice. I heard it's kind of goofy. So I'm into that. So then we've got Green Lantern Corps. I've got Volume 2, Volume 3. Oh yeah, I have these ordered funny. Okay. Volume 4. So I got 2 through 4 of Green Lantern Corps, and then yeah, so I'm missing 5, and I got 6. So Green Lantern Corps, 2, 3, 4, 6. I was really excited to find out. I didn't realize that Guy Gardner was such a prominent character in this one until I started flipping through it. And then I've got New 52 regular Green Lantern. I've got volumes 3, 5, and 6. And these are all hardcovers, which is kind of nice. I go back and forth on hardcovers. One of the things I like is they hold up better over time. One of the things I don't like is that they are heavy. So if you have to move a lot, like I do, and you have to like put them in a box, they're not very fun to move around. So yeah, that was my Ollies haul. Like I said, I spent about, I think $70. This was 2 nights ago, so, but I am really excited. A lot of this stuff, you know, every time you go to a sale or something and then you walk away, I do it with comic shops all the time. I'll go visit a comic shop when I'm like out of state or, you know, traveling or whatever, and then I'll pass on something, and then all I'll be able to think about is that one, like, it doesn't matter what awesome things I got, all I'll be able to think about is the one thing I didn't get. So I'm hoping I think I grabbed the last of the stuff. I don't think there's anything else there that is really irking me to go back and get. A friend of mine asked me to pick up a few things for him, so I might go back to grab a few of those. But I think I'm good enough. I mean, between this stack and the other, I've got a lot of reading, and I've already got a whole bookcase full of stuff I've got to read. So let me know in the comments down below if you've gone to your local Ollies, if you found anything really, really awesome that you were super excited to find. Let me know if you've read any of this stuff and if any of it's good or terrible, especially that Nightwing Flamebird Superman book. I'm really curious about that. Probably gonna read that soon. And until next time, go read a comic. Any comic.